I have another question for Mossad. If he can explain simply to me, because I am a dummy,
No,
well, in the sense that for every penny that America sends to Israel in some way, we get back more than what we gave.
yeah.
No, the balance of
Just
trade
explain it
surplus is
simply.
simple. 10 or 11 billion going one way, about 15 billion going the other.
So,
So the United States are selling and buying to Israel 12 to 15 billion each in high-tech, super security, high IQ shit.
So you mean the technology?
it's not so much.
The technology
15,
surplus?
12 roughly, yeah. Brought up the figures. Yeah.
What happens is like this, that the collaboration between American and Israelis creates the top technology in the world today. So everything that powers this show and everything around us, the Intel chips, the operating system, the instant messaging comes from Israel. I mean, I don't want to bore you with the list, but so many things that we use daily were developed in Israel. Sometimes with collaboration with Americans, sometimes not. So the access to the cutting edge technology that Americans in Israel have is part of the reason, you know, America and Israel are strong. I mean, look at Israel, it's a tiny country and it's strong compared to its size. So, and America is obviously strong, there's no doubt.
Okay. I've heard that there are some bad actors, like they allegedly, or maybe convicted, sold secrets to China or something like that, like our technology. Was that
Yes.
that Jonathan Pollard guy?
Absolutely. The Mossad, the Israeli intelligence service, are considered one of the top, as good as the MI5-6 and the CIA. And they've always had to do it their own way. So they're like masters of treachery, right? But the CIA, MI6 and 5, the game they play is called treachery. And yeah, the intelligence Israelis are really good at it. Of course, they're bad actors, like they are in the CIA, right? And in
I don't like the
MI5
CIA.
and 6, right? Synthesizing the weapons of mass destruction. We had the entire confessions of the leaked Cheltenham operative saying how it was fabricated by Tony Blair. So
what I hear from inside,
right?
what I hear from insiders is that the CIA is full of people who read a lot of stuff about the Middle East and actually understand nothing. They only talk to people who speak English. They don't learn Arabic, so they only have access to very filtered information. The Mossad people actually speak Arabic, so they learn all the languages. We've got lots of Russians, Ukrainians, which is very relevant at the moment in Israel. So in terms of access to information, there's no second to Israel. We saved thousands of lives. You just don't hear about it. Israel uncovered a bomb factory in the middle of London a few years ago, right under the noses of all the MI6, MI5, British police. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. No, I've talked a lot. You go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, just in a meme moment, you know what the Mossad's meme, you know what the Mossad's slogan is?
No.
We follow you.
It was by deception we wage war.
They're fucking watching everything, bro. You're right. You're right about that. But so what?
Of course, spies. You know, have you seen James Bond? You know, that's what spies do. You know, tricks. I mean, they got Eichmann out of you know, South America on legal planes and through everything. They got him through. Do you think that's legal to do it? You know, obviously.
I've heard. One other thing that I've heard is that Israel has gotten us being America, into some nasty wars, or tried to, in the Middle. Is it in the Middle East only primarily? I don't know which those are. I wouldn't want to be involved in anything counterproductive. So
I agree.
What has that happened?
Not in my opinion. I know that Bibi pushed for that in the American Congress.
For Iraq, right?
For Iraq, yes. But he wasn't prime minister at the time, and the cabinet discussed this issue, and Sharon, who was prime minister, spoke to Bush and said to him that he doesn't think it's a good idea.
Wow, really?
And yes, and Bush asked him not to get involved because whichever way Israel points, they will agitate quite a lot of people, and he was trying to build a coalition at the time. So
I mean, I don't
Israelis
even.
agreed to keep quiet about it. If you notice, Israel was very quiet during the. If you look at the news back then, you notice Israelis don't say much, which is weird.
Have they said anything about Ukraine? Just out of curiosity, side note.
In the Israel is divided on this war. There are lots of Russians. I'm actually talking on our channel on Sunday to Yanukovych. Is that his name? I'm still having difficulty with his name. He was the pro-Putin president a few years ago, and this guy that will be our guest was his advisor. So it'd be very interesting to speak to him. So we've got a lot of people on both sides of this in Israel.
Cool.